I want to start today by telling you something I don't say often enough. When I first started gardening, I really wished I had someone holding my hand. Not someone telling me what I was doing wrong, and definitely not someone throwing more information at me. Just someone to say, hey, you're okay. This part is normal. Try this next instead. Because back then, every mistake felt personal, and honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I became a garden coach. I want to show people that there is no such thing as a missing green thumb, and that the confusion so many beginners feel isn't a flaw, it's just a lack of support. Hi again, welcome back to Grow with Vibrant Rainbow Gardens podcast. If you've ever watched a gardening video and thought, wow, that looks so easy, why doesn't my garden look like that? You're not alone. Earlier this year, I shared an episode called Why Gardening Feels So Confusing for Beginners, where we talked about the early overwhelm, the second guessing, the hesitation, the quiet wondering if you're just not cut out for this. Today, I want to take that conversation one step closer, deeper. Because a huge part of that confusion doesn't come from you, it comes from that kind of gardening advice that really goes viral. If you've spent any time on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or even Pinterest, you've probably seen these videos. They are short, they are satisfying, they make gardening look almost magical. A quick clip, a dramatic transformation, a look what I grew for free moment. And listen, I enjoy watching them too. But here's the thing we don't talk about enough. The most viral gardening video are created to entertain, not to help you actually grow a garden or food for long term. And when you're a beginner, it's really hard to tell the difference. That is also why in my Gardening Planning Without Overwhelm episode, I said overwhelm usually isn't about planning at all. It's about expectation. When the internet sets unrealistic expectations, real gardening can actually start to feel disappointing, even when you're doing things right. Let me give you an example you've probably seen. Growing carrots from carrot tops. You cut the top off a carrot, place it in water, and within days, green leaves start growing. And yes, that part is real. But what the video does not tell you is you will not grow a new carrot root because it ruins the magic of that video. Carrots are root crops. The part we eat develops underground from the root system, not the leafy top. Trust me, the leafy top is so tasty. You can make a pesto out of it, and it tastes almost like a parsley with the sweetness of carrot. It's totally edible. You can totally eat it. But it's not the actual carrot that we actually eat. We are trained to eat. When someone tries this at home and doesn't actually get carrots, they assume they failed. They did not. The video just not wasn't meant to grow a carrot root. It was meant to produce views. Now let me tell you about the one that really got me. Actually, somebody just asked about this experiment yesterday. One of my friends, she just asked me, Can I grow an avocado tree with the pit from the avocado I've eaten at home? Yes, I'm talking about the avocado pit viral video. This was years ago when those videos first started trending. Sometimes it's still trending. And I remember thinking, who wouldn't want to grow hundreds of avocados without spending any money? Of course, I tried it. I suspended the pit with toothpicks and put it in the water and waited. And waited. And waited more. Either it went moldy or slimy or nothing really happened. I threw it away. I tried again and again and again. I think it took like 4 or 5 tries. Most of them either molded or never sprouted. At that point in my life, I was still very much a beginner. I was reading gardening blogs, I was watching gardening videos, saving things on Pinterest. Honestly, I barely understood half of what I was trying to consume. So every failure felt like my failure. I questioned everything I did. Did I change the water too often? Not too often enough? Was it the pit? Was it me? Was it lack of sunlight? Or did I use the wrong cup? And instead of clarity, I just went deeper into the Pinterest gardening rabbit hole. Eventually, there was this huge turning point. I stumbled across a master gardener blog explaining why commercial fruit trees are grafted. Not in any of the flashy videos, not in any that article probably never went viral. It's just a regular blog about explaining fruit trees grown from seed can take like about 10 to 15 years to fruit. Some may never fruit at all. Some will not be true to the type of fruit and will not actually reliably produce the fruit you expect. And suddenly everything clicked. Oh my God, nothing was actually wrong with me. Nothing was even wrong with the avocado pit. I was just following some random reel, and that wasn't meant to lead to a real practical avocado tree. I threw out all my avocado pits and never looked back. Every time I open an avocado, I still think about that disaster. That moment actually completely changed how I evaluate gardening advice. Here's the big thing I want you to remember from today. Viral gardening videos are often demonstrations, not a real successful practical strategy. They show that plants are alive, they show that growth is possible, they show that gardening can be fun. But they don't show realistic timelines, consistent harvest, or what actually feeds a family season after season. And beginners are rarely told the difference. This connects directly to something I talked about in one of my other podcast episode, biggest gardening myth holding busy moms back. The idea that there's a shortcut you're missing. No, there isn't. There is biology, there is sequence, and there is learning what actually matters. So here is what I want you to try the next time you see a viral gardening video. Pause and ask, is this meant to teach or entertain? Is the goal just growing something or actually growing something that will produce food? What is not actually shown here? These questions alone can save you years of frustration. And because you see the difference, you stop blaming yourself. You realize, oh, this wasn't meant to work the way I thought it would. And that realization is incredibly freeing. I want to end this episode on saying something that matters deeply to me. The real magic of gardening isn't tricks or hacks. It's the quiet joy my family and I experience when we step into the garden. It's harvesting something we grew together. It's the calm. It's the connection. It's the sense of nourishment that goes beyond food. That joy is real and it's accessible without a green thumb, without any gimmicks, and without getting everything right. That's the kind of gardening I believe in. And in the next episode, we are going to be talking about why random gardening tips don't work at all, even when they're technically correct, and what beginners will actually need instead. You're not lacking anything, you're just learning, and I'm really glad you're here. Before you go, I have one small ask. And it actually has nothing to do with algorithms or downloads. If this episode made you think of one person, a friend, a neighbor, a fellow parent, or someone who's always said, I want to grow a garden, I want to grow my own vegetables and fruits, I just don't know where to start, would you share this episode with them? This podcast grows almost entirely through word of mouth, and every share helps someone realize that gardening doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. It can be gentle, it can fit real life, it can start right where they are. And if you're listening and wondering what kind of gardener you are, or what your next best step actually is, I created a free quiz to help with that. It's called the Growzona Quiz. And it helps you figure out your gardening style, your biggest challenges, and what will actually work for your season of life. Whether you're a total beginner or just need clarity. You can take it at vibrantrainbowgardens.com/quiz. And I will send you personalized guidance right after. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for helping this little garden of a podcast grow. I'll see you in the next episode.